Onda UNED.
Acortando distancias.
Welcome to this special coverage of the 5th English Teaching Congress of the Northern Region in Costa Rica. This Congress is organized by Ministerio de Educación Pública, Universidad Estatal a Distancia, Universidad Nacional, Instituto Tecnológico de Costa Rica, Escuela Técnica Agrícola e Industrial, Universidad Técnica Nacional, and Instituto Nacional de Aprendizaje. Joining us in this space are the following specialists. We have Andrea Ramírez Zúñiga from Universidad Estatal a Distancia. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good, and yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you for being here. We also have Iván Suazo from the Institute of Collaborative Learning. How are you today?
I'm so grateful to be here with you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for being here. And we also have Mary Scholl Bridgman from the Institute of Collaborative Learning too. How are you today?
I am super happy to be here with you and with the teachers.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Okay, so these three presenters were part of the thematic block Teacher Well-Being, Creating a Healthy Work-Life Balance. And we want to focus this segment on how to apply the proposals they shared with the teachers who participated in this Congress. So let me start with you, Andrea. What practical mindfulness steps can teachers incorporate to their daily routines to reduce stress and break away from the monotony of teaching?
Okay, well, thank you so much for your question. I believe that mindfulness is now a very, very good approach. It might be new, perhaps, here in Costa Rica, but teachers can start from small, you know. They can start with little things, little activities, little by little, depending on their context and their students. And they can, I guess, grow progressively into applying more activities. And they can start with like breathing exercises or body exercises, and eventually move to more mindful experiences in terms of creating not only for students but also for teachers, creating a consciousness about our overall well-being and about our mental health, because sometimes teachers focus too much on their duties and responsibilities and their learners perhaps, but we teachers sometimes forget ourselves too. So these mindfulness activities might be a really good thing, not only for learners but also for teachers.
That's for sure. Okay, thank you very much.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much. Ivan, let me ask you this. In practical terms, how can educators apply nonviolent communication approach or framework to enhance classroom climate and teacher resilience?
Thank you so much for the question. It's a great question, and I'm so grateful to be here at the 5th English Teaching Congress 2025. And I am one of the facilitators of the Institute for Collaborative Learning, and we work on a theme called relational agility. So we have different skills for maintaining, co-creating, maintaining, and healthy relationships. And nonviolent communication is one of the component skills we use to maintain and keep those relationships healthy. In practical ways, I need to see myself and others. It is students, colleagues, principals, community members, parents, as human beings first. We are all you human beings first before being students, teachers, leaders. And I see humanity in everything I do and the other is doing. So everything I'm doing every day, in class, outside the class, with the idea to have my needs met. So we all value things, and we want those things to have in our life, like connection, understanding, learning, community, love, care, empathy. So we want those things to be met in our life. And when I don't have those things met in my life, the things that I value, I experience some unpleasant feelings. So when I don't have them, I react, I have behaviors, and then this is because I want to meet these things. You know, I want connection, I want community, I want support. I want collaboration. I don't have it. Right? It's not because I'm right or wrong, good or bad person. It's just because I don't have what I need. So when I see this behavior in classroom, students see with curiosity saying, I noticed this behavior. What is behind this? You know, like whatever it is manifested, the way it is manifested. So I see humanity. I see a human being doing his or her best to meet those needs. Joy, for example. Sometimes students are like bored. I'm bored. It's not. What is the message behind bored? What is it? Maybe they want joy. They want just stretch and break. So I need to read and understand. And once I understand these needs, I can do something for that. So in practical way is bring this presence, the presence I need to see and observe and notice what's going on and what's behind what's going on. And then we can work together. Maybe sometimes I don't have an opportunity, I don't have the time, I don't have the ability, the skills to interact and have a conversation, but I can guess. So once I understand what's the need behind what is shown, I can do something.
Okay, thank you very much. So but you start with a very radical change in mindset, right?
Exactly. It's just changing
instead,
paradigm.
instead of assuming, right, what's happening or making a negative interpretation, you ask yourself what's behind.
Right.
Mhm.
It is connection before interaction,
Right.
before solution, before education. So when I connect, I see a human being the other side.
Mhm.
And then the human being the other side sees a human being here. And then we're essence to essence connecting and working together to see what we need to do for the well-being of each other. So it's supporting each other's well-being.
Okay, thank you very much, Ivan. Very interesting. Okay, and Mary, how can you tell me one or two things that teachers can do to integrate mindfulness practices and the concept of holding space into their daily classroom routines to promote both personal well-being and a supportive learning environment?
Sure. Thank you so much for the question. Yeah, and to build a little bit on what Andrea is saying, I think we're on the same page with this, and to also build on what Ivan is saying, I see these mindfulness and holding space are two of the practices, including and compassionate communication, that we have under an umbrella term called relational agility. And we define relational agility as the ability to build, maintain, and repair relationships. So if I see teaching as relational, and the underlying energy is that we are all in relationship with each other, student, teacher, teacher, like my relationship with myself, then I need to learn about how to be agile in all of those relationships. So one of the practices that helps is mindfulness. And one very concrete thing that I can do in my classroom before I go into the classroom is do a check-in with myself. And I check in on 3 levels. How am I feeling in my body? What do I notice in my body? So a somatic check. And maybe what's that telling me? What do I notice in my thinking? And what do I notice in my emotions? And in that check-in, it gives me a chance as a teacher to become present so that when I'm with the students, I'm actually there, right? And I can do the same check-in with my students. I can ask them to check in with their bodies and with their thoughts and with their emotions and see what's going on there. So that's a really simple strategy that doesn't actually have to take a lot of time, that is a useful habit. It's not a one-time thing. We don't just do it once and we're done. I would do it every day. Maybe vary how I'm doing it, so there's a little bit of variety, but the concept of checking in with what's going on with us, and and the mindfulness piece is showing up, paying attention to my experience with kindness and curiosity, and starting from there before we go into everything else.
Okay.
Or also taking that as a break. There might be something going on. You might feel stress rising in the classroom. It's like, hey, wait a minute, let's take a check-in break. And just name what it is that's happening. And that in and itself is actually holding space for ourselves. That's an example of holding space. Holding space in the world that we're working in, and our definitions, has to do with accompanying our learners and ourselves through what we call liminal space. Liminal space is a space of change. So we have one reality, reality A, and we go through liminal space and we change and we come out reality B. And our whole classroom experience could be seen as one great liminal experience, or liminal space that they're going through. If I understand that my student is going through liminal space, that they're going through changes, my role as a teacher is not necessarily to fix or change it. It's to accompany them in that, right? So when I'm holding space for student learning, as opposed to just telling them information, if I'm holding space for student learning, I'm going to be curious about their experience. I'm going to trust and value that what they say is true. And I think oftentimes I don't, as a teacher, I might not want to know what's really true, right? And so I have to be willing to accept, if a student says they're bored, I'll have to say, without judgment and blame, so, okay, you're bored. Well, what's something that might be engaging for you right now? And get curious, right? Or what do you, not even that's a fix-it response. Maybe holding space is more, so how is that boredom for you? And also honoring that they're the ones that can also take action to engage and connect, right? So the opposite of boredom is connection, I think. And so holding space is honoring students' experiences. It's listening to them without trying to fix them. It's honoring their autonomy and their sovereignty to make decisions about their own learning. So I often try to find spaces in the classroom where I can really listen to them and see what it is they're choosing to do and let that be.
Okay.
So those are a couple examples.
That's a very healthy way of seeing the activity of teaching. Thank you very much. I'm sure that the people who attended your workshops left with a complete new mindset. And it was a great learning experience. Thank you very much for your contributions. So thank you so much for being here in the Congress. And on behalf of the organizing committee, we cordially invite the audience to access the series of interviews posted on Onda UNED's YouTube channel. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Onda UNED.
Acortando distancias.